Hey there everyone, Doogie Manhammer here with the second episode or video of The Little Things About. This time focused on 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. Before we start though, I just want to take the time to say thank you. Thank you so much to everyone that watched my first Little Things About video on Sonic Frontiers. The interactivity with some of you and the overwhelming positivity from that video really left a mark on me, and I'm thankful that you all enjoyed it. I hope this will be something that you continue to enjoy and look forward to. With that being said, obvious spoilers for this game. Now, Sentinel, activate!
Shield them!
Thank you. I'm being chased by men in black.
What? What'd they do?
Nothing yet. It will take a while to help
Understand what?
our situation. Confessions take a lot of courage, huh? Yuri-chan.
There you go!
The evidence so far points to kidnapping.
Who the hell would Shikishi?
I remember seeing a trailer for this game before it initially came out on PS4, and just thought, this could be something I might be into, but I'm not sure. Art style, it looks great, but I don't think a reading game with the side of RPG is worth it to me. And around this time period, I was just starting to get involved with the visual novel genre, and after those initial thoughts, I played Ace Attorney HD Collection, Danganronpa Trilogy, Famicom Detective Club games, and recently just finished Ace Attorney Chronicles. And I also purchased AI, the Somnium Files, because it was only $8 on the eShop during its Black Friday cyber deal, so why not? But either way, I also love RPGs, such as Fire Emblem, the Mario and Luigi games, Sonic Chronicles. Did I just say that out loud? But I wasn't completely sold on it. Enter Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE, and Persona 5. These games are masterclasses in JRPG goodness, and I will talk about Persona 5 more in depth in a different Little Things video since I'm currently playing through Royal at the moment on Switch, but these games are what showed me possible interest in the visual novel genre in the first place, because I fell in love with these characters in these games, and wanted to keep having adventures with them, learn more about them, keep talking about them, and it showed me how content and happy I was with just spending time with these characters and seeing their growth and progress. When those realizations have been made, I thought I could give this game a shot, as well as the genre in general. I also have to give a massive shout out to GK on Twitter, because he loves this game so much, and I kept seeing him rave about it and thought there's no way this game has that compelling of a story or gameplay to make it as good as they're making it out to be. And then it came out on Switch earlier this year, and I had to get it. I had to see it for myself, and wow, just wow. The way 13 Sentinels works is you have 13 protagonists, as expected, and you go through each of their stories as they mix and intertwine with one another into the present day. First though, you must go through battle. The game starts you off learning how to fight and control each Sentinel tutorial battles, seeing characters interact before you even know their names. They call this half of the game Destruction. This is the present day unfolding before your very eyes. Once you finish these tutorial battles, you are able to access select character stories and see what happened to them and what led up to where you first meet them in the first tutorial battle. This is the other half of the game called Remembrance. Now, in order to get a full sense of the story that's occurring in this game, you must switch between the two modes. And you can do that at mostly any time, and that's what I want to praise here, that mostly aspect. I love seeing what these characters go through and watching their stories lead into the present time Sentinel battles. Knowing that, I decided to take on a big chunk of destruction to see how far I could go before I start to have uninterrupted time with these characters. But it cuts you off. You can't just play one section fully and then go to the next. You must change your mode in order to accompany the story. Same goes for Remembrance. You can't just ride through one character's story to 100% completion and move on to the next. You have to play up to a certain percentage in either character stories or in Destruction to make sense of what's going on, or to be able to make reference of any of the intertwining parts of the character stories. It makes the game feel so much more alive, so cohesive, and just seeing the battles and interactions play out with the information you just learned is spectacular. For example, Natsuno Minami has a story event called Exterminator. This story cannot be played until you complete the Girl with the Red Glasses event from Yuki Takamiya's story. which then unlocks access to Tomi Kisaragi's story, which you have to complete the Truth of Kaiju event to unlock access to Nenji Ogata's story. But you have to complete Natsuno Minami's Exterminator event to be able to access Ogata's The Key Owner event. But you can't get that far in Ogata's story unless you clear the first area of Ashitaba City Wave 5 Sentinel Battle. See what I mean with the intertwining stories and the restrictions that halt your progress? And that's not the only path to take either. Other moments in character stories can unlock access ways to other character stories, so it really all just depends on who you want to get to know first. That kind of a system really helps with the amount of crazy loops and spins this story takes, by making you see it all happen and seeing the characters react to their own story or battle to that information, or hearing a passing of something they have yet to come across happen to you, only for that to be the next thing you find out, making it that much more interesting and exciting. I know that this may sound convoluted and messy, but trust me, the way this game plays out is so much better than I could have described it. Just ask my friend who I've been telling all about this game, and eventually I bought it for him so he could experience it himself and have me stop rambling on about it to him. And this game is usually on some sort of sale, so you can experience it for yourself pretty cheap. And I really encourage you to do so. And just so you know, my friend loves this game too. Now, as amazing as the story can be, and how fun it is to piece things together, not many people can play a 25 to 30 hour game in a row. Downtime might be needed, or maybe you want to take a break and play a different game. Either way, you will have to put this game down, and the amount of time in between plays might be out of your control. Be warned though, as you forget bits of the story and lose track of things, whether you haven't played in a couple weeks or just don't remember, it will make everything that much more confusing. Now, this issue isn't only for this game. Most visual novels or games that are heavy on story will need your constant attention and prompt playthrough to see it through to the end and fully enjoy the tale it has to tell. So it's imperative that with any sort of game with this heavy duty of a story, has a summary that you can access to catch up on important details and events that happened last and quickly catch you back up to speed. This game does have that, but I can't say it's that great. Another section of this game is devoted to analysis. This contains all of the characters that you've met so far, important items and tidbits you've come across, and summaries of what each one represents at that current point in the game. More is able to be unlocked as you play through Remembrance, and you can spend mystery points that you earn in Destruction to unlock them. This is here to get a summary of the characters and items that the characters use. Now I will admit, this is more of an information catalog rather than a story summary. References are needed to be able to make sense of certain things, and unless you look through the entire list, you're not going to. However, next to the mystery files is an event archive that saves all the events you've gone through. It even puts them in chronological order. It's basically like replaying the scenarios you want, which makes capturing footage easy for this game, so thank you, game. But like I said, you are replaying these scenarios, so you could be stuck playing a scenario for 10 plus minutes like you did originally. It's great to see everything happen in chronological order, and there is a little summary for each event that goes on to help ease things slightly so you're not there as long, but it's still far from a quick summary for anyone to just jump back into. There is another summary aspect to this game within Remembrance. Each character has a 2 to 3 sentence summary of the last important event that happened within their story, and this is included in the event archive for each scenario. Some of these can be very helpful, and you can quickly catch up on what happened, but most of them are nothing more than telling you what happened with little to no context. It can be helpful, but not without knowing the rest of what happened beforehand. And as you play through the game in Remembrance, the characters have thought clouds with specific keywords and events that they unlock and think about throughout the entire story. And that can be a great place to catch up on specific story occurrences that happen with specific characters, but it also becomes an overbearing and overwhelming annoyance if you have any sort of OCD. As you see in the upper right corner, there are little green rectangle indicators that show that you have thought cloud items that need to be thought about. They may be lit up because you got a new keyword and you need to think about it to progress the story, or an existing keyword has something new to say about it based on your progression that you need to think about and unlock something new, or just have a better understanding of the situation. But most of the time it's the same keyword with the exact same information that you already knew about from clicking on it at least 30 times. Once you think about it, the indicator goes away, and you don't have to worry about it until something new comes along or something changes. However, this resets after every story beat with every character. So when it's time to continue the story that you were just in, look up at these 6 different indicators that are lit up that you need to think about to make go away. And in most cases, since there are more thought cloud keywords than there are lit up indicators, it's a guessing game to figure out what keywords you need to think about to make them go away or which ones are actually important to even think about, since there isn't any indication as to which ones are the ones that'll make the indicator go away. Like I said, this is very much a non-issue, and while writing the script, it kinda dawned on me that this is a decent way to bring you up to speed on certain character story details, but it's such an annoying OCD thing to have these pop-ups all the time, and I have to think about every thought to make it go away because I don't know which one it is that it's talking about, and I feel like I'm missing something if I don't make these indicators go away, and I like seeing a clear screen and... Sorry. This is the little things after all, but God, it's just really annoying to me. Anyways, related to story summaries, the story progression chart. For every character in Remembrance, a story chart will appear that you can access to help you figure out how to move the story along, see where you need to go, what keywords you need to obtain, and the branching paths you may have to take. It's also segmented, so once you reach a certain point in the story, it shows you what track you're on and what you're heading towards. If you mess up and don't present the right keyword or weren't able to find it but accidentally continued into a track you've already done, you're able to restart from the beginning of the path from the progression chart like a checkpoint. This kind of visual metric is genius for a visual novel. It shows you all the potential paths a character has and how they branch off from one another, which is crucial to being able to get different endings for a particular path. Typically, the paths just follow a straight line, and the next time you jump into the story, the next path just, goes on automatically. However, there are some characters that have paths to where they're basically reliving the same day every day, but gradually learning new information as you play through the story and can unlock different types of endings for said path, much like a Groundhog's Days type of scenario or Edge of Tomorrow for a more modern example. The most notable of these is Nenji Ogata's and Ryoko Shininome's story. You go through the path once, everything seems to be fine and normal, but as you get to the end of the path, you notice something weird or unusual. Jump back in and you're thrown into the same scenario, but with the new knowledge of what just happened. You use what you just learned to go about your path in a different way, therefore a new ending. And as the progression chart, lights up, it shows you exactly what keywords were used to help make this change, and it greatly helps if you're stuck or in a pinch on how to progress. It's pretty spectacular in the way that it works and can help the player advance. Something as a general downside of the story progression though, well, not really a downside, but just something that can unfortunately happen, is that some character story paths can take precedent over optional paths. This issue comes from the fact that you see a character has 3 different branches from a particular path, and they're all shrouded in question marks. If you advance the story through what the intended story beat is and not the optional ones, for world building, individual character actions, etc., it automatically progresses you to the next main section of the story, and you're unable to go back and play through the optional paths. This is also where the progression chart comes handy though, because it shows you the parts that you could have taken and the parts that you missed, and what happened in those scenarios with those 2 to 3 sentence summaries. I wish I could go back and just see those play out for myself, and rightfully unlock them before advancing the story, but I do appreciate that they show what happened at the very least. This section might be a little short, but the personality and character that these protagonists have is absolutely astonishing, and one of my favorite parts of it lies in the food that they eat and the media they consume. I mean, look at Hijiyama scarfing down that yakisoba pan. Get it, my man? And he's not the only one. There's loads of food and drinks being consumed through the stories. It's literally Hijiyama's main plot point of his paths to be able to find enough money to buy a yakisoba pan, and it's amazing. Not only that, Iori Fuyusaka has a couple of paths that, has her go out with Kisaragi and her friend Miwako to get crepes or ice cream, and different paths make you select different options. And at the start of many paths for Yuki Takamiya, you can select a Hey-C apple juice from your thought cloud and drink it while remembering childhood memories with Natsuno Minami. Characters might randomly give you drinks too, and it's added to your thought cloud for you to consume, and you can even go to a vending machine at your school and get snacks if your character has the spare change. I love it so much. Not only that, but characters make reference to popular sci-fi movies with their own spoof versions in-game, especially Jiro Kurabe because he gains his memories from the past through these movie tapes. Movies being UFO Wars, which is Star Wars, EXT being ET, Exterminator being Terminator, Mighty Kaiju Daimos and Daimos vs. Mecha Daimos is obviously Godzilla and Mecha Godzilla, not to mention the cast that brings this game alive. I played with English, but I've watched and seen enough trailers with the Japanese sections and it's great. It's so good. This world has so much heart, and it's amazing that all of these otherwise mundane types of actions and references in other games really puts a nice cherry on top of this astounding experience. After a couple of battles in Wave 1, before your next mission you are told that some upcoming kaiju will be airborne and you won't be able to reach them via ordinary means. So this game tells you about the Metachip upgrade system, where you can upgrade the Aegis terminal as well as each individual Sentinel. You get Metachips from completed story paths in Remembrance and spend them on various new ornaments and abilities such as EMP attractors, demolisher blades, health replenishers, a makeshift nuke, etc. These can also be used for the Aegis terminal to make a widespread EMP, restore health, give speed boosts, score boosts, all that fun stuff. And they're all very useful and handy, but they never tell you about the Metachips again after that battle. Granted, you do get told a battle later to keep in mind the upgrades you have and keep upgrading to better yourselves in the Sentinel, but in a game where you must play through another 25 battles after that point, and play through character story modes, a reminder to spend your Metachips would be helpful. Because after that initial time of spending those Metachips, I never went back until the last 5 fights of the game, because I forgot that I could upgrade the Sentinel. I was wondering, why am I getting trashed? I literally cannot beat this wave that I'm on. And after like 5 or 6 continuous deaths, I thought to myself, I have to be missing something. And then I accidentally pressed the button to get to the upgrade system and I just lost my mind. I dressed everyone up to the 9s after that and swiftly took care of business. Now, was that completely my fault for neglecting an upgrade system? Yeah, I take full responsibility. But I was not reminded that it was even a thing after that initial usage, and going from destruction to remembrance and taking time between play sessions, I was just oblivious to it. Maybe another mid-boss battle in the next area could have reminded me to use Metachips because they have shields and I need something that can pierce them or something. Or if there was something else to remind me that I can upgrade these Sentinels, I just wish that there was something like that. And if there was, maybe I'm just dumb and completely skipped over and missed it, and I apologize for that.
Report to you all. Soon I'll be too far from your location. I'll lose signal, and I won't be able to communicate. And when that happens, the mainframe processing will be suspended. It'll be another 850 minutes before I come back from a full orbit. Until I can re-establish a connection, you have to hold on. Until I get cut off, I promise I'll do everything I can.
Say, as long as you're still here, maybe you could sing for us?
All right. As long as you can hear my voice, you'll know I'm still connected.
Warning. Simul signatures approaching. Preparing to intercept. Initiating tactical analysis.
This battle comes at a pivotal point in the plot in Remembrance, where a lot of the characters become aware of the UFO underground, aka Universal Control, and how it basically controls life as they know it. They also start to become aware that Tsukasa Okino and Miyuki Inaba are both AI stuck inside Hijiyama's and Kisaragi Sentinel respectively, who've died in previous iterations or sectors, but have stayed alive through Universal Control to help our current cast of characters. In this particular battle, Inaba is attempting to break through Universal Control and activate Aegis across all terminals, or at least shut them all out so the kaijus can't access them anymore and get to Universal Control. It's been a bit since I beat the game and gone through this story, so I may have forgotten details or got some wrong, so let me know if I have. And Inaba is letting the cast know that she is so close to being done with the processing she needs to do. However, she will be disconnected soon and won't be able to finish until she reconnects in about 14 hours, asking everybody to hold out until then. And as everyone comes to the realization that this battle is far from over, Amaguchi makes a request. He asks Inaba to sing them a song for as long as she's connected, so when she does disconnect, everybody knows how long they have to last until they hear her voice again. Thus ensues a boss battle with gorgeous singing in the background the entire time, until we defeat the boss, and Inaba's voice disappears. The cast laments her disconnection and awaits her return as they fight on. This is everything to me. I love it so much. When I first played through this, I was thinking, are they really gonna have her sing in the background of this battle? And as soon as I heard her, I got so many goosebumps. It just makes this battle and this moment so much more than just any other fight or boss battle. I felt the desperation. I felt myself listening to her voice as I fought, waiting until she got cut off. I can't even put into words how special this was to me. And many other people might just think it's something cool that happened and like that's a pretty neat touch, but it really just hit me in a way I wasn't expecting. The attachment I grew to these characters and the investment I made in the story put me in their shoes, and I just felt the situation. I genuinely can't even elaborate anymore like what I'm feeling, because even writing this I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, and rewatching the scenes beforehand of what plays before and after the battle. It's just too good. What a game, man. What a game. 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim was a game I was hesitant about getting into. I didn't think I'd enjoy it, but thanks to some fantastic word of mouth and a Switch port, I gave in. I think, aside from Sonic Frontiers, this is my gaming highlight for the year. I was just not expecting it to do what it did to me, and this game and the team behind it just deserves so much praise. Major props to Sega, Atlus, Vanillaware. It was an absolute experience. And recently, they came out with a commemorative art piece celebrating the game's 3rd anniversary and over 800,000 units sold across Switch and PS4. And this artwork with everyone living their lives out of their pods, it's fantastic. I can't wait to see what this team comes up with next. Hey everybody again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this other little things of video. I really, as soon as I made my Sonic Frontiers one, I really thought like this has to be the game I talk about next. I just felt so many different emotions and happiness and just while playing this game, and I couldn't ask for anything better. It might be my game of the year. Almost, honestly, I don't know. It was really that good. So I implore you, if you have any sense of interest in this game, or like just want to see what it's all about, please get it. It's usually on sale, like I said earlier in the video, for about 30, 40 bucks, just depending on when you catch it. Even cheaper on PS4, but the Switch, since it's still new, is still a little bit higher in the price. But yeah, please check it out if you have the slightest interest in it. And yeah, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed it. Next time I do another little things, it'll probably be about Persona 5 Royal, because I'm pretty close to finishing it. Might be a bit hard to do a video on it though, because I did not capture any footage for it, so I'm gonna have to borrow some from somebody from somewhere. But yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. See ya!